once again, the Bay of Palma was host to a glittering occasion. The 7th Hublot PalmaVela Regatta returned to the waters of the Majorcan capital with the latest generation maxis, imposing classic sailing ships and a long etc. A myriad of craft had made a date at an event that is highlighted in red in the national calendar, and proof that the Hublot PalmaVela is becoming ever more firmly established. Compared to 2009, the increase in the number of participants makes the regatta, sponsored by the well-known brand of Swiss watches, one of the most important events of the International IMA Championship 2010. 175 boats and more than 1,500 competing yachtsmen and women ploughed through the Palma waters under the auspices and organisation of the Real Club Náutico of Palma. With its years of experience, the Balearic Club pulled off an event that was the perfect combination of competitive spirit and glamour. 25 boats left their moorings on the first day of the competition. The enormous, imposing maxis started to tear through the Balearic waters with 5 maxi cruisers and maxi swans, 7 wallies and 8 mini maxis. In the maxi division, Aroba took the crown in its class in a category in which 2 new swan boats made their debut. The Norwegians, with their Godot, and the British on board the Nikata kept an intense fight until the last stretch. In the Wally category, the excitement of the battle could be felt up until the last moment. Perhaps because of its size, Luca Bassani's 143-footer Essence left as favourite, but disappointed and came in last place. It was Lindsay Owen-Jones' Magic Carpet that restored that feel-good factor of earlier and won on the last day's coastal race. Only the colossal J1 managed to keep up with its pace, taking second place. In the Mini Maxis class, 8 craft enjoyed the work and fun presented by the sea and wind. Things went as predicted, with second position on the last day being sufficient for Udo Schutz and his crew on board Container to gain first place on the podium. Behind them, Andres Soriano's Alegre had to settle for second place in a regatta well known to both of them. The enormous size of the maxis respectively made way for the TP52s, the real kings of the Balearic Sea. The Hublot Regatta became a pioneer this season in implementing the modifications imposed in this category. The Transpac yachtsmen and women tried out their larger square sails and outriggers and bulbous bow and keel. 5 craft of supreme design sliced at full speed along the Majorcan coastal waters in a battle in which the eventual winner was Artemis, a clear favourite right from the start, along with Matador. On the second day, practically the entire participating fleet cast off for the Hublot PalmaVela Regatta. Around 100 boats cut through the Bay of Palma, with a noteworthy participation of the RI, the largest fleet in the competition. Cuadernos Rubio lived up to expectations, rounding off the 2 stages of the definitive day event with a firm advantage over its closest pursuer, Aiken Albus Mini. Surprises in the ORC category, where the clear predominance of the local fleet was unable to beat the Russian boat Symphony. On this second day, the monotype class, classic boats and traditional boats, also lined themselves up along the starting position, and it was the latter that brought out the romantic spirit of the Hublot, with their wood and varnish in deep contrast to the carbon materials on the rest of the boats. The majesty of Luciano Diez's Argos fulfilled all expectations, elegantly regaining first place. In the monotype class, the emotion was generated by the Flying 15, the Plateau and the J80s. The Majorcan Manu Weyla made good use of his comfortable position gained in the opening stages. The J80 class brought no surprises. Carlos Martinez and his Paraleja Golf regained the title against a passivity of around 20 rival boats, amongst whom were 2 world champions in this class. The Latin-rigged sailing and disabled sailing were the last to take to the sea. The beautiful image of the Yalps invaded the bay, with their local craft painting a regatta that is becoming more established every year. The Tinita of Pera Reus was crowned the champion of the regatta class. The disabled sailing deserves a special mention, along with the great work that the organisation does to make the participation of 2 classes in this category possible. 12 boats for the 2.4 and 5 for the 5.5 fought against the wind and sea to the sound of the Mallorcan waves. Leaving behind the sea, between regattas, there was time for fun. The sun gave way to the moon, the sea to land, ropes to drinks, and sport to glamour. The UNICEF party brought together all the competitors and members who were able to enjoy a bite to eat with typical foodstuffs from the Balearics in benefit of those most in need. Cocarrois, empanadas, cocas, and ensaimadas in an event brimming with fun and solidarity. There was also time for music, which was accompanied by cocktails and organised in the Club Náutico village. This is the Hublot PalmaVela, 4 intense days of everything and more. From the colossal maxis, passing through the elegant transpacks and onto the simple craft for disabled sailing. Different in everything, only one similarity: to stop the clock before anyone else. To fight, measure, calculate, not fail. As perfect as a second lasts, as perfect as the mechanisms of a watch. Only this: perfection.